everybody, welcome back. I am still here, I am alive, and I am back with my October wrap-up. So for the month of October, I read 5 books and I DNF'd 2 books. In my wrap-ups, I will now be mentioning the books that I DNF'd and the reasons why I DNF'd these books or did not finish these books. There are 2 main reasons why I would DNF a book, and the first one being it just wasn't catching my attention, it was a boring book, it was a slow-moving book, or it was just generally a bad book. The other reason I will DNF a book is for content reason. So if the content is something that I don't normally like to read or have convictions about reading, I will DNF the book. This does not necessarily mean that this book is a bad book. It just means that I have reasons for not reading books with this content and I have convictions about reading book with this content, or it's just content that I generally do not appreciate personally in the books and in my form of entertainment. But again, this does not mean that this book is generally a bad book or a poorly written book. So with that disclaimer out of the way, here are the 2 books that I DNF'd. The first one, sadly, was Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon. I picked this book up because I was hearing a lot of positive jazz about it. This was a book I DNF'd because of the content. It was a well-written book, it had a great storyline, it had some good characters, and I love books that are not just straight story. It also had like internet conversations, texting conversations, her journal entries, graphs, and those little things that help tell the story. So it was a really easy read and I got through most of it. But the reason I DNF'd it in the end was for the sexual content. There was some high sexual content in there that I didn't really discover until toward the end of the book, as well as the language. Now the language started earlier in the book, and generally for me I can handle some mild curse words, but when you're using God's name or Jesus' name in vain, or even the F word, I DNF those books. Those are just words I usually do not appreciate as swear words, and there was a lot of the use of Jesus and God in these books as swears, and it got a little bit too much. I was losing count actually of how many times it was used. I would have DNF'd this book sooner, but like I said, it was a very fast-paced read that kept going really quickly, but sadly I ended up DNFing it. But like I said, that does not generally mean that this is a bad or poorly written book. The next book I DNF'd was Ash and Bramble by Sarah Prenius. This is a fairy tale retelling, I believe, of Cinderella, and you all know I like my fairy tale retellings, so I picked it up. But sadly this one was DNF'd because it was putting me into a reading slump and I wasn't enjoying it. It didn't keep me going. I wasn't connecting with the characters. It was really slow moving, and I think the main reason was just that lack of connection and that want to know what happened to these characters. So I DNF'd it for now. I might pick it up later. There wasn't any content in it at this point that I found that I DNF'd it for. It was just generally the slow movingness of the book. Now on to the books I did read. So the first 2 books that I read were rereads for me. As I have mentioned before, I am currently rereading The Hunger Games in preparation for Mockingjay Part 2 coming out in this coming month, you guys. So we only have, I think, half a month now before it comes out, so I'm really pumped. I'm really excited. I think it's coming out on the 24th or the 20th, so we only have 20 days, guys. I'm super pumped. I have already reread The Hunger Games. I reread it in September, and I read Catching Fire and Mockingjay at the beginning of this month, and of course they stayed a solid 5-star rating. I was really glad I reread this because there's a lot of stuff in Mockingjay that I actually forgotten about, so now I am a little more emotionally prepared for the movie. It is gonna be a heartbreaker, guys. Prepare yourselves. I hope to be doing a movie marathon as well of the movies before it comes out, but you guys, I am super excited. The only movie I am more excited for than Mockingjay Part 2 is the Star Wars movie, but those are my top 2 movies for this year that are coming out. I am so excited. The next book I read was the second book of the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan, and that was The Sea of Monsters. I am really enjoying the Percy Jackson series. I am a little late on the bandwagon, but it seems to be kind of coming back to life with the new series, the Magnus Chase series that was released. So I don't feel like I'm too far behind. I'm a good chunk of the way through The Titan's Curse right now and already have the last 2 books put on hold in my library, so I'm looking forward to the rest of the series. And The Sea of Monsters I gave a 5-star rating on Goodreads. The next book I picked up was The Invention of Hugo Cabret by Brian Selznick. I picked up Wonderstruck from the thrift store this past summer. Loved his storytelling method, loved the use of pictures that tell the story and the words kind of together telling the story, and that was the same format as The Invention of Hugo Cabret. It is a beautiful story of a young boy who is the son of a clockmaker. And I'm not very good at giving a synopsis of this one without spoiling anything, but I would highly recommend you guys check this out. It's got beautiful artwork again, and just a beautiful, whimsical, just beautiful story. And of course with Hugo, I gave it a 5-star rating on Goodreads. And the last book I picked up was a Marvel comic book. It was Black Widow Volume 1, The Finely Woven Thread by Nathan Edmondson. I enjoyed this. It was a good storyline. It's nice to see Black Widow take center stage, and I know there's a new book out, Black Widow Forever Read, that I have on an interlibrary request, so I'm looking forward to reading that. I like how she's getting a bit more spotlight now in books and comics, and I highly recommend picking this one up if you are a fan of her in the movies. It is a decently told story, it's got some good action, and it's got some great artwork. I would also guarantee this as a clean or mild read. And that is all I have for you guys today. It's a good short video to come back on. I will be doing more regular videos, hopefully, if I don't get sick. I was pretty sick this past month, unfortunately, but now I am on the mend and feeling a lot better, so I will hopefully be doing a lot more videos, as I have really missed being on here with you guys. So, forthcoming, I do have some tags that I was tagged in that I need to do, and there'll be some more videos up as well. So stay tuned for that, and as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.